Ahead of a presumed Ukraine visit by both the US Secretaries of State and Defense, a trickle of Western Standard Field Artillery has turned into a flood, helping Ukraine's heavy artillery units transition from a crippling dependence upon Soviet Standard 152mm artillery to Western Standard 155mm weapons almost overnight. Barring immediate and substantial Russian concessions at the negotiating table, the next transformational Western aid package may well include an enormous number of M109 155mm self-propelled guns, continuing the irrevocable conversion of Ukraine's army into a NATO-oriented force that is ready for offensive operations. Ukraine's transition to NATO standard field artillery is moving forward with incredible speed. In a matter of days, the US upped their initial offering of 18 155mm howitzers to pledge a total of 90 artillery pieces, while Canada shipped in 4 modern M777 howitzers, and the UK pledged to provide long-range artillery. The same thing will happen to Ukraine's fleet of large-caliber self-propelled guns. Self-propelled guns are basically artillery pieces matched to a tank or truck chassis, built to shoot and scoot before they can be targeted by an opposing force.
333!
To supplement Ukraine's 152mm self-propelled guns, France is sending an unspecified number of useful wheeled Caesar 155mm self-propelled artillery systems. Reports vary between less than 10-inch and 12. The Netherlands is providing an as-yet unknown number of excellent German-built Panzerhaubitz 2000, PZH 2000, 155mm self-propelled guns, and Belgium seems set to offer an unspecified number of M109 A4BE 155mm self-propelled guns as well. As this essay was set to go to press, news reports suggest Italy is set to outdo everyone by offering Ukraine both PZH 2000s and M109s. The US has been conspicuously quiet on their potential contributions, but the US has a lot of surplus M109s available, including the relatively modern and still formidable M109 A6 Paladin. The stage is set for the NATO standard self-propelled guns. Along with the new field guns, enormous amounts of 155mm ammunition are already flowing into the country, and those supplies will soon offer Ukraine's long-range artillerists access to an exciting new menu of specialized shells and fuses. The massive munitions transfer reportedly even includes a pallet or two of 155mm Excalibur guided munitions capable of precision strikes. NATO standard artillery finding radars and coordinating command and control elements are all entering the fight. If properly understood and exploited, these new assets will give Ukrainian forces an edge in the fast-moving battles and running counter-battery engagements to come. In a matter of days, the donated towed howitzers will supplement Ukraine's set of Soviet-era 152mm artillery systems, a sprawling arsenal of 2 A65 MSTA-B, 2 A36 Gietzen-B, and ancient D-20 152mm howitzers, while the new NATO standard 155mm howitzers are not a 1:1 replacement for Ukraine's many heavy field guns. The new artillery goes a long way in relieving Ukraine's supply concerns, given the dwindling amount of 152mm ammunition available on the global market. Ukrainian commanders really start to understand their new munitions capabilities. For example, some 155mm munitions can even be used to spread anti-tank mines. Ukraine's new 155mm towed guns will punch far harder than their more numerous legacy fleet of Soviet-era 152mm field artillery pieces. The same will be true once 155mm self-propelled guns arrive in Ukraine, while the new 155mm field artillery will quickly enter the battlefield. Donations of NATO standard self-propelled artillery will likely be a bit slower to start filling in for Ukraine's large contingent of Soviet-era 152mm firing self-propelled guns. As long as Ukraine's self-propelled guns have sufficient ammunition, there is no need to hurry. A deliberate pace towards full employment of the new NATO self-propelled guns is fine. Ukraine currently fields a good-sized set of two S-19 MSTA-S, two S-5 Gyatsin-S, two S-3 Akatsiya, and other systems like the newly arriving 152mm self-propelled guns from the Czech Republic. But the three NATO standard 155mm based mobile systems trickling into Ukraine are more complex. While European countries are handing over some top-flight modern self-propelled guns, those systems are still unlikely to be available in big numbers anytime soon. While Ukraine covets the capability of the German-produced heavy PZH-2000 self-propelled gun, donor countries will be loath to hand over the frontline platform in large numbers. But hundreds of retired, old-school M109s are still serviceable and are likely still available in both US and European warehouses.